When talking about electric vehicles, there's no doubt that Japanese automaker Mazda has pretty much left behind all of its domestic rivals. And we're not just talking about Honda and Toyota, because it's beyond that now. In fact, it turns out Mazda's got it all planned out, because the company is about to invest billions in electric and hybrid vehicle deployment. In this video, we're going to tell you every single detail about it, so keep watching. First off, Mazda announced its revised plans, including a huge investment. Let's not forget that when we're talking about electric vehicles, we've got our minds focused on sustainability. In fact, that's how it all began, right? And with climate change and whatnot, it's time the auto industry took some responsibility for their share of pollution. And while we're at it, the changing auto industry, with enough pressure from governments piled on top, all to reduce carbon emissions, had Mazda changing its strategic roadmap through 2030. Right now, they needed to rethink everything, so one of their moves was a pretty huge investment in developing new electric vehicles. Plus, the company announced its updated midterm management plan and management policies through 2030. And the investment was included in it too. Adding to that, the revised plans are simply the consequences of whatever happened in the business environment along with the country's environmental regulatory trends. And that wasn't all. The automaker even raised its sales target for electric vehicles to 40% of its total global sales by 2030. To put it into perspective, that's a huge jump from the 25% they had initially set for 2030. Clearly, they had a lot to reconsider long term. Following up, Mazda planned out a three-phase approach. The company's electrification strategy has a three-phase approach going to 2030. Starting off with phase 1, it's going to make sure to use the automaker's technology up to its maximum potential for two goals. First off, it's pretty obvious we've got our environmental footprint. In fact, it's what started the entire debate in the first place. But that's not all. The company looks at it from a marketing perspective as well, as they aim to produce attractive products to skyrocket sales. Moving on to the second phase, Mazda's going to introduce a new hybrid system. Not only that, but the automaker is also going to launch new fully electric vehicles in China, along with their launch of its battery electric vehicles globally. At least for the first of these hybrid vehicles, the production's going to start right about 2025 and go until 2027. And then comes the third phase that's going to start in 2028, where Mazda's going to go all out for the promotion of its wide-scale launch of fully electric models. Let's not forget that all of this is going to need huge investments coming in for electric vehicle battery production. But the good news is, they've got all that figured out as well. Not to mention, the company's got quite a few investments lined up. The first step is to partner up with Kanagawa, the Japanese-based battery maker Envision AESC Group, and this is going to make sure Mazda gets a hold of batteries while increasing its electric vehicle production at its plants in Japan. In fact, sources confirmed that all of this seems to align with the company's public plans. They're going to promote the full-fledged launch of battery electric vehicles. Plus, they're also considering some investment in battery production. As of now, the automakers also decided to advance their work on autonomous driving. In fact, the company aims to speed up the development of safe, AI-powered advanced driver help technology that's hopefully going to eliminate fatal accidents from its vehicles by 2040. We're not going to lie, when we're talking AI, it's sort of hard to live up to a commitment of that sort, but only time will tell if Mazda's going to be able to do it or not. Coming up, Mazda's always focused on efficiency. Let's take a look at the past 5 years. If we're being honest, Mazda hasn't been doing so well competing with its rival, which has already launched plug-in hybrids and fully electric vehicles. Clearly, Mazda's falling behind by quite a big margin. Instead, the company had its focus set on increasing the efficiency and emissions of its internal combustion engines, which is even more important. As countries around the world work to reduce carbon emissions and fight climate change, there's a lot of pressure on automakers to take responsibility and produce more zero-emissions vehicles. And let's not forget, they've got stricter emissions regulations they're going to need to comply with. As for Mazda, it's going to produce future electric vehicles at its Hiroshima Prefecture assembly plant in Japan for export to the US and other countries around the world. Up next, let's talk numbers. It turns out that the senior managing executive officer, Akira Koga, even told reporters that there's a 1.5 trillion yen investment lined up, which, by the way, would equal about $10.6 billion. Plus, it's going to be made along with its partners and poured into research and development. But don't get your hopes up, because Koga refused to give any sort of detailed investment timeline, saying that it would depend on the skyrocketing popularity of these electric vehicles. Mazda CEO Akira Marumoto said that the company's going to be introducing a hybrid system that's going to improve the efficiency of internal combustion engines. It seems like they're hoping for a multi-solution approach here. On top of that, the automaker agreed to work with about 7 countries, which also includes electric component maker Romco, to come together to develop and produce electric drive units. Having said that, Mazda has already reached a supply agreement with battery maker Envision AESC for a limited period right between 2025 and 2027. Moving on from that, the company is going to develop a strategy for procurement equipment and securing batteries every step of the way. And that's not all. Envision AESC Chief Executive Shoichi Matsumoto even confirmed that the company has been in talks with automakers in Japan, Europe, the United States, and China for new supply deals. Talking about sales, it's aiming for about 4.5 trillion yen for the business year that's ending right about March 2026. In fact, Deloitte expects total electric vehicle sales to reach $31.1 million by 2030. That's going to be a huge jump from $11.2 million in 2025 and $2.5 million in 2020. What's more, Mazda's Vision Study model is out. For purists, the thought of an all-electric Mazda Miata isn't the one they'd love, but that isn't stopping it from becoming a reality. While it's still too soon to confirm when the first MX-5 electric vehicle is going to be here, the company's three-phase strategy sort of cleared things up. If anything, it has us guessing that the car is going to be here by 2030, and hopefully much sooner. On top of that, with its updated plans, the company even teased the Vision Study mode. That's literally a stunning concept. If anything, we just hope that this is a hint of the future design of the iconic two-seater sports car. Adding to that, Mazda confirmed last year that the next generation Miata is still going to be electrified in one way or another. With that said, you can expect some sort of hybrid setup coming up that's going to align with the company's second phase. On the other hand, we won't be surprised if we see a fully electric Miata by the end of the decade, and we definitely won't be shocked to see an electric vehicle version that looks a little bit too similar to the concept we've seen in press images, along with a clip of the video on Mazda's official YouTube channel. In fact, in the first few minutes leading up to the concept's first appearance, we see a bunch of shots of people happily driving different Miata Generals. And, if we're being honest, that just makes us more curious. Is there a connection between the past MX-5s and the Vision Study model? Finally, let's not forget the first look at butterfly doors. Our first sneak peek at the concept is viewed through an iPhone screen, and its exposed chassis seems to feature some sort of a T-shaped battery back. Right after that, the car's body then drops on top, and we see its passenger side butterfly door open up. Okay, if we're being honest, the crazy doors are definitely one of the concept's most defining features, but we're not too sure if we're also going to see them as part of a production model. On the one hand, we definitely expect future Miatas to maintain a convertible body style. On the other hand, a fixed-roof variant like the concept isn't going to be something new because Mazda already offered the rare JDM-only NB generation coupe. As for the rest of the imaginary sports car, it seems quite doable, even if it's ultra-dramatic. Its wide hips, peaked front fenders, and even the low cowl are some of the exaggerated traits of the current ND Miata. And let's not forget the illuminated Mazda logo that's mounted low on the concept's nose, along with the slim, protruding front lighting elements. They're definitely some of the neat touches. That's a wrap for this video. What's your take on Mazda's three-phase strategy and billion-dollar investment in electric and hybrid vehicle development? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.